दिवाली है अभी।
Okay, so once again, a very good morning to all the participants. Thank you for joining us today. Today the session is about build AI agents with OpenClaw. So before we get started, let me give you a quick brief about our today's speaker. So today we have with us Ritvik Acharya sir, who is currently a senior manager in AI engineering and has previously worked with Microsoft as well. He has a very strong experience in building real world AI systems with a focus on agentic workflows and practical AI applications. So today in this session, we'll learn what OpenClaw is and why it is so trending on all the platform trending on all the social media platforms, and how it actually works, and real world use cases of AI agents and key considerations that we have to take care before using OpenClaw. So today's session will be more practical and focused on how AI is moving from just prompts to real world action. Over to you, Ritvik sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dipali. Good morning, everyone. I'll share my screen. Okay. So we'll be talking about OpenClaw. We'll talk about what it is, what it can do, what are the risks, what are the alternatives, where does this overall fit. So I'll spend the initial few minutes talking about so of course, at this point, you may know. If you don't, that's perfectly okay as well. It is essentially an AI agent. I'll try to set the context. We know LLM chatbots. We probably know ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. But that is one way of accessing the LLM. And we'll talk about how does it fit in the overall ecosystem. Are there alternatives? What are the risks? What can we do with it? And I'll show some connections that you can do hands-on. Okay, and I'll show how it works initially, and I will also show step by step. If you want to do it in parallel, again, this is not mandatory. If you are not hands-on, that's perfectly okay. But if you are, it's a good opportunity to just follow along. If you don't do it, I think at least you should be able to appreciate that using just a few steps, you should be able to connect your personal accounts like WhatsApp for doing some things. So you can control your computer and stuff like that. So that's essentially what we will do. I'll keep it high level. I will add a caveat as soon as we go a bit technical. And I want to ensure that I don't go too fast, and I will take questions every now and then. If you have questions, I would request just put them in the chat. Every few minutes, I will wait, look at a few questions and try to answer some of them. All right. One request that I have, purely hygiene reasons. I will be stopping every few minutes just to check if everyone is following, or just to ask everybody your feedback about something. We are all here to learn, so there's nothing right or wrong. I would request that you give it a shot, right? Whatever your understanding is, if you already know the answer, great. I would love to hear that. If you don't know, what would you think would be a potential answer? Again, just so that we have good participation and I have some feedback while we cover the class. Does this sound okay, everyone? You can either just raise your hand or put it in the chat so that I know that we are good to start. Cool. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, folks. I will start with answering what is OpenClaw. But again, that will probably not be enough, mostly because we need to put it into context, right? Think of it this way. You are at your home and you are going to your seat in your office, right? So we need to go from your sofa at your home to your seat in the office, right? So there are two very specific things that we need to cover. All right. But if I directly start talking about the seat in the office, it's going to be too much of a leap. So I will start at a high level. What is OpenClaw? But I will try to set the context. So we'll be covering the definition. What does it try to do? Who is the creator of it? And so on, just to make sure that everybody understands what this is. But the second part, I think, will be more important, which is the context setting piece of it. Okay. So I'll talk about what is the current landscape, what are the constraints, um, like how is it that we make AI more useful to our context, right? Um, how is it that it can help for certain personal tasks? What is the architecture? What is the hands-on setup that we have? How do we do that? So I will showcase step by step some commands that you can also run. If not, you will have a recording. You can look at it later, and we will be sharing some documents how you can get started yourself. What are the risks and alternatives? The last one is important because I want everyone to appreciate that with AI, there is no single agent or framework or a large language model lab that can do so. Okay. There are multiple others that can do the same thing as well. So good to know about OpenClaw, one of the very famous ones, capable ones, but there are others who can also do very similar things. Okay. Just one sec, I'll check. Um, Voice is clear, but a bit soft. Okay, I'll try to speak up a little bit. Thank you. Is it safe to install? KP, it is safe to install. It's better to install it when you have a sandbox. Give it a specific location and create a sandbox and then install it. It's always better to um, do it in a safer environment where we have guardrails in place. Okay, we'll cover some of those aspects. All right, so step number one, what is OpenClaw? Now, it is essentially an AI agent. Okay, and I will explain what is an AI agent. For now, just go with me. It is an open source. Open source practically means that you are free to download, you are free to make changes to this core framework. Of course, it's not, you are not the owner. So the owner will still get to decide how does this AI agent evolve. But if you feel there are things that you want to do, you can do that. It is self-hosted, practically means you should be able to download in your server, in your own personal computer, and then be able to make it work. It can do some tasks autonomously. The idea is that it can call an LLM, you can associate it with WhatsApp, your Gmail, anything that you want to give it access to. And while that is powerful, obviously this is risky as well, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. So the core idea really is that it is one gateway. You essentially have a single interface for your personal apps like WhatsApp, and you have the same on your computer so that you can connect to many different services, do many different tasks. That's the core idea, right? WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, iMessage, multiple different options are available for you to configure this agent. Quick overview. Peter is an Austrian developer. He is the one who created this particular agent. Uh, he's been dabbling into these kind of things for a very long time. So this isn't something that is new, but this is something that is now kind of acqui-hired by OpenAI, right? Um, and I'll talk a little bit about the history in the next slide. But as of February, or I think early March of this month itself, OpenAI onboarded Peter, and Peter now works at OpenAI, and then he kind of works with the Codex ecosystem, and then continues to build on OpenClaw and similar different frameworks. Okay. Um, Next. So when it came around, this was, I think, a couple of early January, if I'm not wrong. Peter launched it, calling it ClaudeBot. But if you would see, and if you know about AI models, Anthropic has Claude models, right? CLAUDE. Okay. But because Anthropic Claude had issues with that naming nomenclature, he moved to MaltBot very quickly, but eventually moved to OpenClaw, right? This is where the current open source naming really rests. So this is the very quick context. There was a lot of drama around it and so on. This happened in the last 2 months. And this is when OpenAI bought it. So that's one context as well. All right, so it is owned. Peter works at OpenAI, but as I said, it is open source. It is MIT licensed, which means it is purely a product for and by the community. It is not a closed source product at any point in time. So Claude was Anthropic's model family. Claude is the uh, very similar naming and sounding product. So there were some legal issues that Claude had came in and so on. So we can use multiple different options that are available out there. So that's a quick context. Now, let's talk about possible connections that are that you can make with this. Okay. You can associate this agent with WhatsApp, with Telegram, Discord, Slack, iMessage. If you're working in an organization, you may have access to Slack. You might even be using it for your personal stuff. WhatsApp, at least in India, a lot of people have WhatsApp. Telegram, again in India, in some other parts of the world as well. Very common, but the idea really is that you are able to connect your agent to these social media applications that you have access to and be able to perform certain actions. We'll come to what actions those are. You can set it up on Mac. You can set it up on your iPhone or your Android phone. All of these are options. Your Microsoft Teams, Slack, all of these are, again, some of the options that you can change. All right, so what actions can this OpenClaw perform? It can do multiple things. Let's say you are somebody who is responsible for sales. Okay. When it comes to sales, you might be responsible for answering so many different people or reaching out to so many people, right? There can be some sort of an automation that you can have, set it up on your system, but control it with your WhatsApp, right? That is something that you can do. You can collect information, anything that you would do on a repeatable basis, on a verifiable basis, is something that is possible to do using OpenClaw. We will look at one or two examples in this session itself. You can send email, you can reply, you can react, you can edit, delete, search for it, etc. I'll give one scenario just to make sure that everybody can connect to it. Maybe if you're on your WhatsApp, you can just send a message from WhatsApp. Everything will happen on your computer, but essentially it can look up a particular file, tell you what it is, do some analysis, render it, tell you the insights about it, and send it back to you on WhatsApp. You don't even need to touch your computer. Of course, your computer needs to be awake so that the agent can perform an action, but that is the only requirement, right? Once you set it up, it is good to go. You can even control device actions. You can capture the camera, record your screen, read the location. Think of all the little things that you want to do. Repeatable, safe, all of these are possible over here. You can route across various different tools, sessions, memory. There are system actions like running certain commands. These are all very, very risky. You are giving a large language model control of your computer, right? So very powerful, but very risky. So When you set it up, make sure that security is there. You have taken care of the risks. You are running it in a protected sandbox and so on, right? So those are some of the good things, but risky things that we should be aware of. All right. So again, this is important to understand. Let me skip this slide. I'm anyway talking about this in the next section. Essentially, this is not a base model. What do I mean by that? I can go to ChatGPT. All of you have used ChatGPT, I assume. Maybe you use Gemini as well, right? So all of these are large language models, also known as base models, right? This is not a large language model. OpenClaw is a framework that will allow you to integrate large language model into your particular context, your data, your computer, your WhatsApp. So it is more a harness. Okay. How is it that you give it the right data? How is it that it runs for what you want to do? But we are not dependent on an external interface like a chat GPT or a Gemini for it. Okay, that's important to understand. We start with the model layer. So I already talked about it. We all know what is chat GPT, Claude, Gemini, many other options are available, open source, etc. These are the intelligence engines. But while it is important and useful that you can continue to ask it something and get stuff, this is not available in your environment. This is not available in your enterprise. This is not available in your WhatsApp. This is not connecting to your real data and then performing a certain action. It is not doing any of that. You are asking it something, it is going to respond with something. And then it is up to you to take that information, put it in that context, and then make use of it. OpenClaw is on top of these LLMs. It can integrate with any of these models in your environment. Okay, so this is one thing to internalize. So yeah, chatbots, this is how they generally perform. I just showed this exact same thing to you. Let's say, summarize this meeting in 3 bullet points, so the deadline moved to Friday, blah, blah, blah. You have given the meeting context, so it is giving you. But this is not doing any action. You ask a question, it gives you a response. That's all, right? It has its good things, like it is fast, it is flexible. There is no setup, right? You practically just log into ChatGPT or Gemini. That's all you do, and you are good to start. But this is external, like I said. Okay. So understand this fundamental thing. I want to have a framework that is in my environment. I want to take my bank statements and download it in a folder every day. This is a risky part. I can give it to OpenClaw to do that, but it would be foolish to do that. So let's make sure that we don't do that. But let's say once you download it, what are your expenses? What are your savings? What are the categories that you are spending on? All of this is possible, right? Using this particular option. Every day you like to get some news from Reddit, from X, from Instagram, from Google, wherever you get your news from. It is possible. You are working in an organization. Every morning you come in, maybe you want a report of what happened yesterday. Data gets dumped in a location. You just ask your WhatsApp that tell me what is happening, what happened yesterday, what are the highlights, what are the things to look at, what are the concerns. This OpenClaw can do that for us, right? A chatbot directly is not something that will allow us to do that. So we move from the first interface, which is a chatbot like this, to APIs. What is APIs? If you want to call a particular model in your environment, in your organization, in your Python notebook, if you are a software engineer, if you are a marketing professional, if you want it, if you want to make sure that you don't go and take your data to an LLM, but you bring the LLM to your context, you use an API. Okay. So you can call the LLMs from various different apps, automations, services, and so on. Support copilots, content generation, search, summarization, etc. All of these are examples where you call an LLM in your context, right? So the model becomes the building block. Your software still remains what you do. Maybe you do 10 things as part of your own workflow. You bring your LLM into this workflow and maybe add intelligences, or maybe you let it take some autonomous decisions, right? That is what is APIs. Very similar is an agent infrastructure, right? So you can get this into IDEs, which is where software developers, if you're a software developer, machine learning engineer, you would already know a bit about it, right? So you have multiple different ways where you can call your LLM inside your personal channels and so on. Coming to agents. Agents are a form of calling your LLM into your specific environment. Okay. So it will not just answer. I want everybody to please just read this one agent idea piece. It does not just answer. It can look at your specific local context. It can decide. You give it access to multiple different tools, and then it can also take multi-step actions. All right. So this is something that is an agent. OpenClaw that we are talking about today is an agent framework. It does pretty much this. All right. That's one thing that is important to know. Examples, coding agents, research agents, operations, marketing, support, so on and so forth. OpenClaw is specifically a personal agent. Basically, you still do very similar things, but OpenClaw is, when we talk about personal agents, you are giving it access to your personal tools and personal accounts. As I continue to say, it is risky. So make sure that we have the right security in place before you do that. But it is essentially a agent just associated to your personal accounts and personal data. Okay, your devices, your messages, your files, your WhatsApp account. You can, if you know WhatsApp, you might be having your own number and you can just, talk to it, store it for notes. When you connect OpenClaw to your personal account, it essentially means you are able to get an understanding of how to connect your personal WhatsApp account to OpenClaw on your laptop, perform certain actions and feed it back to your WhatsApp, right? That's the whole idea. So tasks that can help one individual, it's not a generic flow, etc., etc. All right. So it has LLMs. It is connected to your channels and your personal accounts, and it feels closer to a personal account. That's essentially how you should think of it. All right, before we come to personal tasks, I'll wait just to see if there are any questions. Okay, Narinder has a question. Why OpenClaw only? Narinder, there is no reason for only OpenClaw. You are free to use, if you are using, say, Claude Cowork on your computer, or you want to build your own personal framework, all of these are possible. OpenClaw became very famous in the last 2-3 months. It is very capable, and it is very extensible, right? So we are taking the example of that. So there is no need for us to assume that it is only OpenClaw. Good question. Malware. Yeah, I mean, if we are not sick, if we are not careful, Darshan, then yes, you can think of it as malware as well. Ehsan, I think same question. Arthur, when you give permissions to a single software, okay, yeah. Saro is asking, is it production ready? I think it depends on your setup. By itself, OpenClaw does not define anything, whether you use it in your dev environment or production environment. If you give the right permissions, if you give it access to the right tools, then yes, short answer is it is production ready. Stalin, your laptop should not be shut down if you are running this thing on your laptop. Okay. There are softwares that are available that will be, you are just locking your system, but your system needs to be open for this to work. Or you need to host it on a server somewhere like a VPS, right? Both are options. If your system is not running, your laptop or your server, this won't run. Which one is more powerful? We'll come to that. Just looking at that. Is there any protocol or safety? Yes, Daniel, I can talk about it somewhat later in this class. But instead of using OpenClaw, Nvidia launched the pretty much the same version of OpenClaw called NemoClaw, Nemo. Okay. They have a safety first approach. So without exposing your QR scans or your keys, you should be relatively safer. So that's something that is possible. Paresh, what is a sandbox? Sandbox is essentially a protected environment where you can experiment and you are not at the risk of data leaving or some actions being performed on your system, on your WhatsApp. So that is a sandbox. Um, cool. Okay. Can be implemented in internet? Okay, we'll talk about some of these things. I want to give access to my bank. Marius, I'll tell you, this is a very risky thing to do. Yes, there are some guardrails in place, but I would suggest everybody never ever leave OpenClaw or any other agent having access to anything that is very fundamental. Bank account is absolutely no, no, no. You can do that. It is risky. Please don't do this. Satya Jeevan, yes, you can use it. You just need to get the right permissions. Okay. It is possible. Cool. All right. I'll proceed for now. I'll show you a couple of things. I am not asking you to run this right now with me. I will be running it. Please just follow. Towards another 20 minutes or so, I will be doing the setup step by step. And if you want, you can follow it along. Okay. So I'm opening a terminal. The setup is slightly technical. So this is a caveat for folks who are absolutely non-technical. Uh, it is not very difficult as well. But if you have never done anything, with respect to the fundamental tools or the terminal, it could be slightly, a learning curve for you. Okay. But as I said, if you are motivated, it's not more than an hour or so. Okay. It is powerful. It's good to know how the concept works and what it can do for us. All right. What I am doing right now. So first of all, I have a set of data. I want some simple analysis on top of it. Okay. So I'm going to install OpenClaw. I am going to connect OpenClaw to a large language model because a large language model is essentially what will perform the analysis or give me a summary on top of it and then render it. Rendering it is nothing. Just create a file and then show me how the analysis looks like. Maybe plot a chart. Right? So those are the things that I will be doing. I will do the same thing using WhatsApp. I will connect OpenClaw to my personal account and I will show you how to do the exact same thing just using my WhatsApp account. Now I can't show you my phone, therefore I will do it on the web WhatsApp, but it essentially works the same. You send a message from your phone on WhatsApp or you send it through your web interface. Just so that all of us can see it, I will do it on WhatsApp, right? That's the idea. These are the two things that I'm doing first. Um, I'll run a bunch of commands. As I said, I will not wait for any of you to follow right now. I will show exact steps in slightly later, as I said, 15-20 minutes from now. So please wait for that. Okay. Just give me a sec. I'm not going to type out everything for the want of time, of course. So first, I am going to uninstall OpenClaw from my system so that I can do a fresh start. This should take a total of 2 to 3 minutes, not too long. And I will walk through. So now I have removed OpenClaw that was already in my system. I will just confirm if it is gone. If there is no output, then it will not give me any response. So I'm good. There is no response. So now I will install OpenClaw again. Should take another few seconds. Request. Okay, yeah, I have installed OpenClaw. All right, so I already have created certain things, so I won't be creating them again, but just to show what we are looking at, there is a OpenClaw Ollama analyst. I will explain the entire setup once so that it is clear. But before that, um, there is some data over here, okay, that I have already put in. There is some market data CSV that is available. So this is something that I will run some analysis on. Okay. I will show you the prompt when I run it. Just give me a moment. All right. So quick setup of what we are doing. I am installing OpenClaw. That's step number 1. Remember, I told you this is not a LLM. So I need to connect this to an LLM. You can connect it to anything, either a local setup, or you can call Gemini or ChatGPT, OpenAI models, whatever you want. Okay. So we need to connect one to the other, right? That's what we need to do. So I've installed OpenClaw. That is something I just showed you. I need to connect it to a LLM. I'm doing it using something called Ollama. Some of you may have heard of it. Mostly chances are you have not heard of it. I told you that I need this LLM in my environment, right? So Ollama is one option where you can either download a large language model in your system if your system is powerful enough, at least 16 GB of RAM, ideally 24, 30, more the better,
How
right? Second is you can use this through a cloud, which means you don't necessarily need to connect, you don't necessarily need to download a model, okay, to your particular
sir, will we get a recording of this?
You will. Okay. So essentially, I am connecting OpenClaw with an LLM. There are many ways of doing it. A simpler way of doing it is just downloading Ollama and using its cloud models. So I will be connecting Ollama to OpenClaw, right? So what I am using is Ollama, right? Which gives me access to the LLM. And I use that to connect that to OpenClaw. Clear? These two things. Framework associating LLM to the framework in simple words. All right. All right. So we have installed it. Let me move to the next step. I already told you I have some data, right? So I will not set it up again. Ollama is set up like I just spoke about. And Okay, now let's see which models I have set up access for. So because I've already installed it, I will share how to set up Ollama. It is pretty straightforward. This is a Chinese lab, ZAI. They have a model called GLM. So I'll just show that to you as well. Just like ChatGPT and Gemini, this is a Chinese lab. Okay, it's called Z.ai. They have a model called GLM. I'm using that model through Ollama. Okay, that's all that I'm doing for now. So I have access to this model. Next, I will connect to this. Again, please don't worry about the exact commands right now. I will spend time for you to just set it up if you want to. But for the benefit of most of the folks, I will run it and then you guys can um, see how to make this work, and then I'll take questions. Sorry. Let me open up another terminal. And I will run this. You don't necessarily need to run it through a terminal, especially the folks who are not technical. So we will open up a dashboard. Right? So we have a dashboard that opens up locally in your browser, just like you are talking to a Gemini or a ChatGPT, right? But now it is your data.
Hello, Ritvik sir, you're on mute.
Sorry, not sure how that happened. Let me repeat what I did. Uh, we can continue to work in the terminal and access OpenClaw and do some actions. But OpenClaw already provides us with a dashboard that you can control. This is a much simpler way to use it for everybody, not just for people who are technical or developers, but also for specifically for people who are non-technical, right? So it's a good idea that maybe you use this as well. All right, so I can ask it to do something, and let me just copy some commands and show you how it will function. All right, so I'm going to do some things, right? You run the data analyst script that is available, and you access Ollama, you access the LLM model, and then you analyze revenue trend over time. Okay. Let's just change this a little bit. Yeah. Read the analysis. Add some exec level prescriptive analysis in less than 2 paragraphs. Okay. And then create an HTML report and render it. So this is what I'm asking it to do. This takes a few minutes. It will look at the data. It will, through Ollama, connect to the GLM model, perform what needs to be done, and it will render the output. The entire thing takes about a minute. Okay. We'll just wait for a minute and then I'll come back. Some questions while this runs. This should take a minute. Vraj, it does not take too much storage. Isa, can OpenClaw be deployed on organizational scale? You can, certainly. I would suggest have security measures and sandboxing in place, but you can certainly do it. The power of OpenClaw is not just to deploy it and get something. There are other frameworks for that as well. This is associating it to your personal account. So every day morning before you start your work, you get a message from OpenClaw saying that, hey, yesterday a particular problem occurred, right? So what should you focus on? and so on. So those are the things that it is more powerful. Is there cost associated with usage of LLM? Which LLM will we use? Narinder, there is no constraint on the LLM itself. You can use whichever LLM you want. You can directly connect to OpenAI's models, or you can use free models through Ollama. Okay. All right. So I told you it will take a few seconds. So you see what happened. Let's go back. Let us read what I asked it to first. You run the local data analyst script. Okay. I have already created a code. I am asking the OpenClaw to run that script or that code on some data. Okay. And if you see, it will connect to the LLM, but it will also do some analysis on the input data, on the output that it generates. And I have asked it some specific things. Create exec style prescriptive analysis in less than 2 paragraphs, create some charts, etc., and render it. So if you see the output now, it took some data, it used the model Ollama. This is a free version, so that is why I am showing it. And it's always good to go with powerful free models unless you really need to spend money because of enterprise reasons, or if you feel not very happy with the quality. We have some charts, what data was analyzed. It is all dummy, so I have just 6 rows and stuff like that. But see, I asked it for prescriptive analysis. It generated prescriptive analysis while I was talking to you guys, right? It performed certain action, it created a performance summary, and it gave us a specific output. The revenue growth is 42%, blah, blah, blah. I asked it to generate some charts. It has done that. I asked it to for some executive action items. It has done that, right? This is all done while I am speaking to you. I did have a few things ready, so it's not as if it was as simple as that. I had the data on which the analysis to be run ready, but the analysis itself and creation and rendering of this analysis report was done by OpenClaw in front of you. Okay. Let me do the exact same thing using WhatsApp now. I will connect to WhatsApp. OpenClaw and WhatsApp now are connected, and then I will perform the same action. All right. Just give me another couple of minutes while I set it up. I will open another terminal. Okay, let me just copy some commands. As part of this session, I will be sending these commands so you can set up everything on your own. So I'm installing WhatsApp. So there is a plugin that I'm installing. It first checks if it is installed. If not, it will install it. It has installed it. Okay. Next, I am going to add my WhatsApp phone number. Okay. I have already set it up, but when you will run it for the first time, you will get the option to put in your number. So once you do that, you should be able to access your phone number. Here, let me just show you how I am specifying the phone number. Sorry, I ran it without specifying my phone number. Let me specify this. My number is, I just set this up. So now it will try to connect to my specific WhatsApp account. Okay, so this part is done. Now I'll just verify if this was saved. Yeah, it allow from this particular number, I can connect to OpenClaw, right? You have some options like how big your media files connection should be. You can change it if you want. So all of these options are available. Now I will link the WhatsApp account through a QR code. If I have already connected it, maybe it will not prompt me for it. Okay, it is already linked because I had done it yesterday. For you, When you will try it for the first time, everybody please pay attention. It will give you a QR code. You just need to open your WhatsApp, go to linked devices and scan that. That's all. Okay. Cool. Now let me start the gateway. Okay. So it is listening for personal WhatsApp inbound messages. OpenClaw is going to monitor if I send any message from my personal number. Okay. Now let me start with the pairing. May not require the entire pairing now. Yeah, it seems it's fine. Okay, because it is already connected now for me, I am going to go to my WhatsApp and see this. Okay. I am going to please perform this action. It is the same prompt. Run, if you go here, remember what I asked it to do, right? Where is it? Here, right? You go to this particular location and you perform a certain action. That is essentially, where did we do it? Okay, yeah. So this is essentially what I'm trying to do, but I'm going to ask WhatsApp to do this. Okay. Analyze, blah, blah, blah. Let's say analyze a trend, generate a specific HTML report in technical style. Let me just change this now so we can see the difference and that it is running. Okay, so I have asked it to perform this specific action. All right, let us see if it works. It is running. I know this, it is running mostly because generally whenever the other person is typing on WhatsApp, you get a typing notification. I don't know if you can see my screen, but right now my personal phone number is shown as typing to me. I'm not doing any typing, as you can see. But because this action is being performed by OpenClaw right now, right? This action that I asked it to, it is showing me a typing notification because that OpenClaw is working in the backend. Okay. So let's just wait for that action to be performed. We will get two outputs. We will get a HTML file just like this. Okay. This will be refreshed most likely because it's the same name, but it will also send me the summary back on WhatsApp. All right. So just wait 1 minute while this works. I'll just look at some questions. Narinder, as I said, yes, you can use different LLM. I would say Docker, if you are comfortable with Mohammed Zain, my request would be use Docker. That's something that is possible. Priyanshu, I will show you how to download. I will spend some 5-10 minutes how to do that. Martin, yes, I will share the locations. Don't worry about it. Arthur, yes, you are right. Can we install in PC? See, GPU is not mandatory. It is fine. Command is through localhost. Sorry, I didn't understand that. Am I running command through localhost? Essentially, on my terminal, I am connecting OpenClaw. Now everything is taken over by OpenClaw. Okay, so that is how the connection is. But if you talk about specific else, I will take the question in just a minute. Is Ollama LLM? Narinder, there are a lot of free capacities that Ollama gives us on free models, especially the Chinese labs. So it is okay to use that. All right. But if you go beyond the free usage, of course, there will be some cost that you will have to bear. But if you don't give the details, they won't charge you anything, of course. So, All right, let's see if it is done. All right, this is done. See, I asked it, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, I asked it this message, please perform this action. Run the local data analyst, and then technical style is all I changed here in front of you, just so that you can see a change. Now, what action is being performed? The user is asking me to do blah, 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 save the summary, and it has done the analysis on this particular data, and it is giving us the output. Right, so the data is available here. It gives me the insights, etc. Now, if I probably refresh this, this is exec style. Why did this not refresh? But at least the data run is done for sure, because I can see the summary here. Let me close this and open it. Give me 1 sec. Local data analyst, output, analysis report. No, this is just the steps. Where is the output? HTML, HTML. Okay. So there is something done in a technical manner here. Okay. And we have the specific output that we want. It's the same analysis, but I controlled everything this time through WhatsApp. Okay. So it is already giving me a summary, and this is all orchestrated by the OpenClaw agent. Clear? I will wait here. I did many things. I know there are questions. Let me start going through the questions first before I. How to connect local OpenClaw with Ollama cloud models. Prabhakar, I will be sharing, it's a JSON file. You need to download Ollama, that's all. And you have a JSON file. It will look like, let's see. JSON open Claude. Let's see, where did I set it up? But it essentially looks like this, so nothing too different. Yeah, it's essentially just, this is not Ollama, this is something else, but it will look like this, Prabhakar. I will be sharing how that works and so on. That's one. Now, is it a powerful LLM? I think, yeah, Arthur is saying there are two main. I think, Narinder, for the tasks that we are performing, these models are a worse versions of the best not open AI models, but of the Claude models. So if you know Claude, Opus, and Sonnet, right? These models are Chinese models from a performance standpoint are kind of a worser version of these. I think that is good enough for the tasks that we are performing. Okay. So you should try it out. Very honestly, there is no one answer to say if something is powerful or not, but good thing to try it out. Sunny is asking, it is an agent without any reasoning. I don't think, Sunny, there is anything not reasoning about it. It depends on the LLM and how we are setting it. So you can definitely do reasoning capabilities on top of it. It is a harness essentially. Okay. So local system is where it is hosted and you are controlling it for orchestration. That is local. Ollama is a gateway. You can think of that as an LLM gateway. Yes. Other free models, good question. Okay. You can associate it with many options. Okay. You can go to OpenRouter, also one of the good providers that provides. You just go to openrouter.ai and put in free. You will see many options. I'll put this link on the chat for all of you. Okay. So yeah, you go to OpenRouter and then you go to models and you just search for free in the search bar, you will find tons and tons of free models. Okay. Right. Is there a filter here for free? Maybe here you will see. Okay. Yeah. Many models are available for us for free. Nvidia models, RC, GLM 4.6 is the same model I ran through Ollama. It is available on OpenRouter, a previous version, but yes. Very decent models for you to try out. Very decent limits. I think 50 calls per day or something OpenRouter supports. Ollama supports even higher. So yeah, that's something that you can just try out. What else were the questions? Okay, it is a gateway, free models options I've given. Marius has a very fantastic question. Can I construct OpenClaw to connect military centers and block their? Yeah, I wish. So maybe our OpenClaw decide. Okay. Yeah, recording will be there. All right. I think that's pretty much all the questions. How did you connect terminal with a local host? Okay, so this is a core backend setup that I have done. Essentially, I have installed Brew, localhost, OpenClaw all in the same virtual environment as Sun. Okay, once we do that, there is no need for any different local host setup necessary. Your core terminal will be able to handle it. Ollama 3.1. Harilal, I would request don't use Llama 3.1. It is almost 18 to 24 months old model. Use a newer one. Okay, go to Ollama. There are many free models, powerful latest models that are available. So use these models. Okay, Nemotron, MiniMax, Qwen, all of these are good models. Just don't use, I would say, Llama. They're not even trained for this kind of a setup, so maybe they take a lot of time. It's offering through agents like Kimi, Tech Mindset Africa, whoever account this is, it does not make a difference. Use a reasonably newer model. Your basic tasks you should be able to test out. Yes, Prabhakar, that's a good option. Thanks for this. Arthur has a very good point. It does not matter where you get your LLM from. There are multiple ways of setting it up. I will show you that piece. Everybody, please just pay attention. So let's go to the docs. Okay. So you can set up these options. Okay. You install it, blah, blah, blah. Of course, all of this I just showed, but tools and plugins. So you need, even before this, you need your where you get your LLM from. And there are all the various different options. Where do you run it? I think somebody had this question a minute earlier. Docker, Bun, multiple container options are available. So you can use it. Hosting, again, it's basically a container. There is nothing very fancy about it. Your local system is okay if you are just trying it out. Where can you connect it? So I just showed WhatsApp, but depending on what you prefer, if you want to keep WhatsApp separate, if you really want to continue using this, my suggestion is it's okay to use WhatsApp, nothing wrong with it. But if WhatsApp is your primary usage, just to mitigate the risk, move to some other thing which you don't use. Maybe you don't use Discord. Maybe you don't use Slack or what Telegram, right? Just go for ones that have just for control purposes and it's a separate environment, right? So that's one. You have multiple different agents. Again, this is how big or how production ready you want to make. So there are hundreds and hundreds of different options. You can set up prompts, agents. Within all of this, everything is possible. What you do it. That is not the task of, or not just the task, but that's not the thing that we are going after in this session. So I will not cover everything, but just so that you know, if you have been working hands-on on anything in an organization or personally, you can do that. For the non-technical audience, everyone, think of this more as a capability. If you feel a little worried that I cannot do that, and that is fine. But now you know something fundamental, that you are able to, if you work in an organization, maybe your organization will not allow you to associate your personal WhatsApp with it, right? Because data security, blah, blah, blah. But maybe you use Slack on your phone or Microsoft Teams on your phone, right? So now you know your data, a set of actions, and getting the responses through Slack or Teams, or controlling it via Slack or Teams and performing the action is possible. So that, keep that architecture in mind. Okay. So I showed a few tasks here. Personal WhatsApp attend. I'll not walk through this. This is just formality. Separate WhatsApp account, why it works. Okay, good, good, good. Group have, I mean, now you can imagine what different use cases are there. I'll not walk through everything. Family groups, you want to book your flights, you want to do some research, you want to book a movie, you want to book a parking slot, right? As long as it is connectable, that end app that you are connecting to, OpenClaw or any other framework should be able to connect with it. There is cross-channel coordination possible. Okay, good. Memory-based daily assistant. So let's think of, I spoke about the bank example. You download your bank statements every day, every week, every month. And then you just tell your WhatsApp that, hey, please tell me in the previous month, I earned 10 rupees. I spent 5 rupees. 5 rupees is my savings, right? So that is something that can be completely automated using this. Think of another use case. You do daily workouts, right? You have your Garmin connection or your Apple Watch or whatever workout application that you have to track it, right? You can use all of it. You dump the data. It is not very security intensive. So it's okay to give a direct connection that take my daily data of steps and basis yesterday's data, tell me, uh, did I do a good job or should I do a better job? Maybe you can do it for diet as well, right? So many, I mean, the possibilities are many. So separate agents for separate roles. It's always better to not have it separately. Sorry, have the same thing do multiple things. You can set up as many agents as you want. That's always a good idea. Summarize today's work. Maybe your team does something on Jira. You can connect this to Jira, right? And say that, tell me what did the team work on yesterday? What is the biggest risk for today? What is the biggest priority for next week? Through just your Slack or WhatsApp or whatever you use. You can control devices, etc., etc. This is the architecture. Everybody, please spend a minute here. You are able to have connections on your personal apps, on your corporate apps as well. These are the clients where it is hosted essentially. So Mac OS or your CLI, web UI, wherever you prefer it. Then this is the core gateway. This will manage your WebSockets, the session, etc., etc. We are giving LLM access to all of it, right? And we have an agent that will have access to multiple different tools and sessions and some outputs and so on, right? So the gateway is essentially the hub. So one way that gateway owns the messaging surfaces, basically just networking detail here, but It will maintain, the gateway will maintain the provider connections. It will expose the typed WebSocket API. It will manage the sessions and it will act as the single coordination point host. All right. Again, details, you don't need to worry about it, but if you're going to set it up, it's a good thing to know. Mac, CLI, Web UI, all of these are possible. You can get status updates if something is running or not. You can subscribe for specific events. If something breaks in production at a given point in time, it might shoot an email, but you get 100 emails every day. Maybe a separate channel you set up just for emergency stuff, right? Your production system is broken. For that, maybe it's a good idea to set up a specific channel and then get some status request or subscribe to events and so on. So clients operate the system, nodes extend the system with a real world device action. Nodes are companion devices. They will expose the capabilities. These are all very risky stuff. The thumb rule always is only give calibrated access to what you need to, never give all access to anything, even if it does not matter if, camera or screen, or don't give it access if you don't need it. It is risky. Okay. Um, the assistant will stay chat native, etc. Yes. So this is. So the communication flow happens like this. You connect it, it will request, you get a response, and that response will be rendered or provided to you as an event, right? So you want to set it up. There are some of the things you'll get the deck, but yeah, specifically you install the script, OpenClaw onboard, install daemon. Daemon is essentially your core script that will ensure that you can connect to multiple different tools. It will allow it to do all of that. Connect to the gateway, connect to the dashboard. Why the dashboard? Because it is easy to see what happened and everything, right? So you have access to something that is slightly less technical. You have a good user interface where you can continue to see what is happening and all of it, right? So that is something that is useful. There's a gateway side and an agent side. So gateway kind of ensures all your authentication, your health checks, your installations, and so on. Agent side is where you set it up. What is your data? What you want it to do? What are the skills? Which LLM, etc. All right. I'll talk about the risks. Let me just take the questions. Yeah. Arthur, I agree. It is sad when they drop the top DeepSeek models, Ollama and stuff. But the other Chinese labs are, I think, yeah, still generally good. So yeah, that's an option. But data privacy. I imagine I got 3 Claude Store and I want to see the sales. How can I get this on WhatsApp? So Darshan, it's pretty much what I spoke about, but very briefly, your data needs to be somewhere where you are running OpenClaw. Okay. You need to have access to an LLM. You need to connect to WhatsApp. 3 things: get the data, get the LLM connection, connect it to WhatsApp. Okay. It is always good to tell the LLM or maybe have a script. So your question is, see all the sales of the store at the end of some data. Okay. All that you have to do, it's better you run a script that does something, because if not, if you just allow the LLM to do the analysis, it will do something, but you cannot be sure. LLMs are great, but LLMs are not great, because it's always good to verify. When you verify, you will understand that many times LLMs will get it wrong. Okay. So run what you want to do deterministically using Python or whatever you prefer. So the LLM is just deciding what to run. Once the output is generated, then it will synthesize and send it to you on WhatsApp. So that's how I would suggest. Asan is saying, do you think? Ehsan, very honestly, I don't have a good answer for this. Will it replace software engineers or anybody? I can say 100% sure that the nature of the jobs is changing very, very aggressively. Will somebody be replaced a specific role? I think all the office jobs are going to be impacted in some way, right? But will it be replaced? Because it is a technical thing. It's not that straightforward. Working with LLMs is blood and sweat. If you have done it in some capacity to make it work reliably, you know it is very difficult to do. Okay. So I think the demand will be there for folks who work with LLMs or use LLM as part of whatever they do. I think the demand will become lesser. If you needed 100 people now, maybe 80 or maybe 50. I don't know a number, but it will be less. Will it replace? Will there be new jobs? It's all in the air. Difficult to say for anybody. Rutuja, these models are LLM. We have OpenClaw as an orchestrator on top of the LLM that allows us to do that. Web of OAuth. So right now we have not set up any authentication here at all, right? Because this is my personal account. I am okay to expose it to one channel with one agent. But if you are doing it to extract data from, say, Garmin or your, I don't know, some CRM system, then it is OpenClaw allows a native OAuth capability where you can set up your login credentials, your authenticating, your tokens, etc., and be able to access the data. Okay, so that's possible. Can we connect to any application? Rutuja, theoretically, yes, but it depends on whether it allows that the application, let's say you want to book through Make My Trip, book my ticket from Delhi to Bangalore. If Make My Trip allows you to have API access to do that, then yes. Otherwise, it's not a native thing. Otherwise, it is literally controlling the app and doing things one by one, which is as good as you doing it. So this is not possible. But if you want to do trading, for example, on Zerodha, very recently they allowed you can connect to Zerodha trading through MCP, okay, which is like client and server standardized infrastructure to connect many different tools and so on. So yes, you can do trading, you can book stuff, anything that a client allows, you can do it. But this is relatively new. This is not so mature at this point in time. So just be aware that you may not have all applications who allow you to do it. Government app, maybe it's possible. Again, the same answer I would say. If you feel sorry, not you feel it, if the government app allows that to happen, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, CLI. Darshan, so essentially what we are saying is command line interface. There is no need for you to use a CLI if you are doing it for the first time. And I was very scared of a screen like this few years back. Okay. So my sense is just install it, but then please use a dashboard. Where was the dashboard? Use this dashboard, right? It will automatically open up with a few commands. So it's good to control your channels here, like WhatsApp. Is it configured? Is it linked? Is it running? Is it connected? When did I connect? You will get everything if it is connected. But use the dashboard if you're non-technical. Because if you're asking CLI, I am assuming that you are new to this. Perfectly okay. We have other ways of running it. Don't worry about just the CLI version of it. Awesome. No, daemon is not Docker. Daemon is basically your tools that are exposed using a daemon framework. Okay. Docker is a container which by itself does nothing. It's just an environment where you install stuff, you do stuff, everything remains in that container unless you have given it access, and you can perform stuff in a container. So Docker is a relatively safe place unless you decide otherwise. And Docker is essentially used because it will have the same set of libraries across systems. If I want to create something and share it with you, your computer may not have the same libraries and the same stuff and everything. If I give you that Docker will ensure that everything that is in my system is there in your system as well now, as part of that container, separate place where everything happens. Yes, you can Shiv connect it to your MacBook. Yeah, there are risks. Darshan, okay, I think your store example, if it is stored locally on each computer, this is an example that I'm showing on my computer. If you run it at an enterprise level or a small business level, your data will not be on a computer necessarily. Or you can keep that computer open and this action will be performed. Or you can do it on the cloud, right? Data is on the cloud, you give access of OpenClaw to that environment and it will work in the same fashion. Is AI a bubble? Uh, I don't think as an AI is a bubble. I think it is here to stay. It is going to have an impact, continue to have an impact, large impact. I am not saying that I buy the AI hype that it can do everything. If you work with LLMs, you know the limitations. So, as I said, it is blood and sweat to make an LLM work. But I can say AI is not a bubble. It is changing stuff every day. But who knows? uh, Okay, Darshan, good question. I use Zerodha API. What and how does it? So basically MCP, what is MCP, right? Model Context Protocol, essentially a framework by Anthropic to connect multiple different tools and applications and databases through a single interface. Think of it this way. You need to connect to Zerodha. Maybe you are running some analysis script, Darshan, which tells you when to trade, what stock to trade, right? If you do this, um, there are two things now. You want to connect to Zerodha. You want analysis to run in parallel, right? You just have an MCP interface as a client. Okay. There are MCP servers which you can connect to, and they will perform multiple different actions. Your core orchestrator is you and your LLM, and it will have access to multiple different things. One thing, one agent is telling you, one MCP server is telling you what is the real-time price of a stock. Second one is doing some Python scripting and doing some analysis that, okay, today you earned 2%. Do you want to sell now? Third one will connect to Zerodha and make that transaction, right? So MCP, think of it as a single window. Behind that window is multiple different tools that you can configure. Okay, Mohammed, when using an LLM for analytical tasks, how can we reliably assess? Yeah, that's a good question. I would say, I think I just briefly mentioned it, Mohammed, a while back. I don't trust the LLM, even though it has become better and better and better to perform some analysis. I prefer to write a Python script that what analysis should be performed. Okay. To create the script also I use an LLM, of course. But it is better if I know what analysis is being performed, and then the LLM just looks at the input output and then provides you a summary or a recommendation. I like deterministic, and then I want to limit what LLMs can do, because LLMs always generate something that is plausible. Okay, it doesn't seem wrong. And then you only have so much of cognitive capability in a day to critically analyze everything. Okay. So a lot of the times, if you just give everything to an LLM, it will make mistakes. You look at it, you'll be like, it looks fine. Maybe it is, but maybe it is not. So I would suggest, please do as much things deterministically and then only give certain things to an LLM, like summarizing and then providing recommendations in this form, that form, and so on. Arthur basically said, yeah, correct. Reliable tools and write their own tools. Yes, you can analyze live CCTV video, and if there is any event, send alert on WhatsApp. Absolutely, Shrikant. Very good example. What you should do is you should have a feed that comes in. It continues to look at a feed and analyze. An LLM does not do this. We should not do this through an LLM, but it should be orchestrated. Their intelligence, like receiving something, is this suspicious? Should I send out an event? Those things should be controlled by an LLM. But OpenClaw, you should be able to connect to your CCTV footage. It is a stream of data. What is an alert is a different script that should run. You can send it to WhatsApp and then you can get a notification. But try to make the workflow deterministic. Just connect this as the OpenClaw orchestrator. You can connect it through a website. I have not done it, Stalin. I assume this should be possible, but monitoring is better rather than doing something at scale, because if you don't know what will be done, then that is not a agent problem. This is a different problem. Uh, Darshan, yeah, maybe we can talk towards the end. Ahsan, I would say certainly yes, it is a good idea to transition from a backend engineer to an AI engineer. Yes, I think it is really powerful. Like if you understand the backend capabilities and limitations, and integrate AI as part of it. Yeah. Use case a solo founder in terms of their SaaS marketing. So, yeah, customer service agent or SaaS marketing can be a lot of different things, right? Um, I don't know what you would do, but maybe you are doing some performance marketing. You are tracking some dashboards on Meta, on Google. You are seeing the performance of a particular new ad that you have created. Is it performing well, not performing well? Your costs are going above a certain threshold. Are you getting good responses? Blah, 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 right? So all of these are cases that you can. So this is, I would say, don't think of OpenClaw as intelligence. Okay. Intelligence belongs to the LLM. And tools are where we connect stuff. OpenClaw, think of it as an agent that brings everything together for you to control these things. Okay, so please don't. I think I spoke about this early on in the session. So don't mistake OpenClaw as the intelligence layer. See, it uses LLMs. Intelligence is here. It acts through channels and tools. You should control and connect these. Okay, this is what is important. Uh, cool. N8N is also somewhat similar, but I would say it is more a drag and drop interface um, rather than you being able to configure it to your personal stuff. It is similar, but here you are able to do stuff on your environment and then your tools of choice. Uh, cool. Use N8N for different purposes, guys. Not the same. Cool. Any other questions right now?
So thank you so much, Ritvik sir, for like not just explaining, but also actually showing how this work life from like giving instructions to an AI agent to seeing it break down tasks and execute them step by step. So today what we saw is a clear shift of how AI is no longer just responding, but started to think, plan, and act. So also I would like to thank all the participants for joining us today. Any participant who have any question can raise their hand. We have more 10 minutes. So I'll just unmute them. Please raise your hand. Also, I have shared feedback form link in the chat. Please take a moment to fill the feedback form. It would really help us to plan our further sessions. And also, WhatsApp channel link has been put in the chat box, so you can join our WhatsApp channel. So you will get updates about the regular sessions that are going on. Then we also share career tips, resources in the group. I'll share the link again. Any questions? Can raise your hand. If no questions are there, then maybe we can just end the session here.
All right, cool. Thank you, everyone.
So one question is that.
Hello. Hello. Thank you very much for everything. Are you listening to me?
I can hear you, David. Yeah.
Okay. I learned a lot on this session. I just wanted to know if I could have some video of what we did today, or it's gonna be possible that or not.
Certainly.
Yeah. We'll share the recording to all the participants.
Okay. Okay.
Other question?
Anything else? Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank
truly.
you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, then we'll meet for the next webinar soon. You will get all the updates in the WhatsApp chat. Thank you so much everyone for joining us today, and we hope this give you a new perspective on how we can start building with AI agents. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.